To call this meeting of the Board of Aldermen to order. Roll call, please, Heather.
Alderman Angel.
Here.
Alderman Borman.
Yes.
Alderman Lee.
Here.
Alderman Magley.
Here.
Alderman Simmons.
Here.
Alderman Wilkins.
All right, we do have a quorum this evening. Official business can take place. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to start off the meeting tonight by expressing our heartfelt condolences and sorrow for the actions that took place at the Boston Marathon today. It's a very tragic event perpetrated by some people that were, unknown at this time, but cowards in my book. Take and portray something like that to a mass of innocent bystanders is just an act of cowardice. And I would like to ask that you join me in a moment of silence and remember at this point, 2 people that were killed. One of those was an 8-year-old boy, and all the multiple injuries. Thank you. It burns my heart to have to convey a message like that at the start of our meeting. Our hearts go out to the citizens of Boston and surrounding communities, and hopefully the gentleman that they had in custody pays for his actions. Okay, moving the agenda around just slightly, I'd like to take this opportunity to issue a couple of proclamations. Talked about them last week. So the public safety telecommunicators will come up here and represent it. This is for all of you, from all of us and the entire community. Proclamation, National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. Whereas April 14th through April 20th, 2013 is National Public Safety Telecommunications Week as declared by the Congress of the United States. And whereas the City of Centralia, Missouri hereby recognizes the Centralia Police Department dispatchers as emergency service telecommunications professionals. And whereas the Centralia dispatchers' working relationship with other dispatch organizations is and has been exceptional. And therefore, by this proclamation, the City of Centralia commends and does hereby appreciate the outstanding attention to duty demonstrated by the dispatchers of the Centralia Police Department. I, Tim Grinke, Mayor of the City of Centralia, do hereby proclaim and encourage the citizens of Centralia, Missouri to recognize the dispatchers and of the Centralia Police Department during this week. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
I'd like everybody just to introduce themselves and advise how many years they've been, or how long they've been with the Centralia Police Department.
You can talk to council if you want.
I'm Savannah Rogers. I think I've been part-time 2 years, and now I'm full-time 2 years. So cool.
I'm Nicole Hudson and been dispatcher since 2008 of August, and was 2 years part-time and almost 3 years full-time.
I'm Lori Hunt. I've been here 2 months, getting ready to be released. I have 2 years prior experience at Moberly PD. I live in Moberly, but we're trying to move to Centralia.
Zach Foltz, I've been with the department for just over a year and a half.
Brenda Moss, been with the department for 7.5 years.
And Brandy Hess, been here 7 years.
Thank you very much.
I got this little something I'd like to read. You want to take a seat if you want to. The Honorable Mayor Tim Grinke, David Wilkins, Chairperson, Public Safety Committee, and Lynn Barnes, Administrator. This week of April 14th to the 20th has been declared by the United States Congress as National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. It is a week to recognize the dedicated folks that serve as the most vital link between those in need of emergency services and those who provide those services, be that fire, police, or medical. The community of Centralia is most fortunate to be served by a very dedicated and professional staff of dispatchers. They handle over 700 calls for service each month, and does not include walk-in traffic to the police department and calls via the city line. Over and above the calls for service per month, which by itself is attention demanding, and must also answer radio calls by the police, fire, and public utilities. In Centralia, they are also responsible for monthly data and statistics specific to the police department. The Police Department Emergency Services Information Center can only be as good as the information gleaned from a caller. That information must then be translated to emergency services in an efficient and succinct manner. A manner of professionalism demonstrated by our very own Centralia dispatchers guarantees the transfer of vital information efficiently and succinctly, each and every call, to the best of their ability. I just hope that each of you join me in a moment of appreciation to the outstanding professionals that make up the Centralia Police Department dispatch team. I can assure you, no other dispatch team operates as efficiently and professionally as these groups of folks that we have here. On behalf of myself as police chief, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. They're without exception most deserving of our appreciation. Thank you.
I would just like to say, to invite everyone after the council meeting, if you want to come over, we're having cupcakes and cookies and drinks. You're more than welcome.
Just You're all right to come over, police department.
Thank you for an outstanding job.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. Okay, this time I'd also like to issue a proclamation for the library. So, if you'd like
I'll follow you.
all right.
Do you want to hear things?
Proclamation for National Library Week. Whereas libraries are the heart of their communities, campuses, and schools. Whereas libraries work to meet the changing needs of their communities, including providing resources for everyone and bringing services outside the library walls. Whereas libraries and librarians bring together community members to enrich and shape the community and address local issues. Whereas librarians are trained, tech-savvy professionals providing technology, training, and access to downloadable content like ebooks. Whereas libraries offer programs to meet community needs, providing residents with resume writing classes, 24/7 homework help, and providing financial planning services to teens applying for student loans to older adults planning their retirement. Whereas libraries continuously grow and evolve in how they provide for the needs of every member of their community. Whereas libraries, librarians, library workers, and supporters across America are celebrating National Library Week. Therefore, by this proclamation, the City of Centralia commends and does hereby appreciate the outstanding attention to duty demonstrated by the librarians of the Centralia Public Library. I, Tim Grinke, Mayor of the City of Centralia, do hereby proclaim and encourage the citizens of Centralia, Missouri to recognize the librarians of the Centralia Public Library during this week. Thank you very much. Would you like to introduce yourself and
My name is Kay Cox. I'm on the library board, the treasurer. I have been forever.
You have some,
Many years, let's put it that way. Hot Mary.
Kay, how long were you librarian?
8 years. 8 years. Been on the board 9 years plus 2 more. So,
and I understand that tomorrow evening, there is going to be a e-reader class
yes,
for
on Tuesday.
people that, got new e-readers, don't know how to use them,
Right. I think I better attend.
Yeah. Well, I know that, I had gotten a new, tablet and, the library staff over there was phenomenal and
They have
helped me
They
to
have
learn how to use
good
it.
class. That's good.
I would like to point out that the library was a 4-star library when I was on the library board. And I don't know whether it had anything to do with me getting off or not, but they became a 5-star library since then.
Yeah.
I-
And not only that, it was
We
5-star
talked about
library
it. Yeah,
2
we-
years in a row.
We talked about that, Donna,
Yeah.
but we decided it wasn't you.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, okay. Well, use your public library. Right now, they are constrained by the 1965 boundary. And the only way that's gonna change is if we get Congress, the state senate, to amend that.
We went there and visited with them,
Yes.
But we didn't. I think our name was Mud for a while because we were stirring up things. So
Right,
maybe one of
so
these days.
that's still an ongoing
That's right.
project.
It always will be, I think.
Yeah. Okay. And the final, thank you very much, Kate.
Yes.
The final change I'd like to make to the agenda tonight is, at this point, I'd like to appoint a Michael Slavings to the position of part-time police officer. So, if Chief, you would you introduce Michael to us?
Sure, with the honor, thank you. Michael comes to us, he lives basically in Moberly with his family. He was just telling me a while ago that he's been up since 4 o'clock in the morning turkey hunting. It's not the best opportunity when the weather we have for turkey hunting, but nonetheless, I'm getting him on as part-time. And certainly between Michael and David, hope to keep down the overtime as much as you can, just kill it. That being said, get them on board and get them up and running for Anchor Fest, so at least be able to find their way around town and get them trained up. And we're really happy to have him. We have quite a few applications, so once you tell, you're gonna notice when Michael talks to you that he really wasn't born here in Boone or Randolph County. I'll let you make a decision there. But he's going to talk to you and tell you a little bit about where he was from, a little bit about his family.
Well, I'm Michael Slavins. I'm originally from Southeast Missouri. I've been in law enforcement approximately 7 years. I've moved to Huntsville, worked for Huntsville Police Department for almost 5 years. Decided to, well, actually I got another job that was quite a bit more money, so I thought, well, maybe more money would help, so went to it, and since I've been out of it for about 1 year and 4 months now, I've pretty much missed law enforcement, so I heard he had an opening down here, so I applied for it, and here I am.
All right.
Could you spell your last name, please?
It's Slavings.
Do you say you have a family?
Yes, I have a wife and 3 children.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the appointment.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the mayor's appointment of Michael Slavings to the position of part-time police officer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Thank you. All right. You swear in? Thank you.
I, Michael Slavins,
I, Michael Slavins,
do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri
and the ordinances of the City of Centralia,
and the ordinances of the City of Centralia,
and that I will faithfully demean myself
and that I will faithfully demean myself
in the office of part-time police officer
in the office of part-time police officer
of said city to the best of my ability,
of said city to the best of my ability,
according to law, so help me God.
according to the laws of God.
You don't have to sign it.
Thank you. Welcome aboard. Thank you all very much. Good evening. All right.
There's a lot of people out there for public comment now.
Yes.
Nobody's
got your
back, James.
Consent
Well,
agenda.
somebody left their purse and.
That's Evelyn's probably. Consent agenda. Anyone have a chance to look through their packet?
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda as printed.
Okay.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as printed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Accounts payable over $12.50. Further questions on that?
I make a motion, we approve the accounts payable over $1,250 in a grand total of, I'm getting there, I'm sorry. Thank you. $259,346.61.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to approve accounts payable over $12.50 in the amount of $259,346.61. All those in favor say aye.
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 Approved, opposed? All right, comments from citizens? This we ran them off already.
When are y'all gonna pave my road?
We're working on it.
Thank
We
you.
got to annex you first.
He lives.
I know where it is. We're trying to get that far.
Yeah, there's gonna be a couple more annexes.
Didn't want you to
Are you
feel
gonna
left
see
out
if
from this.
Mr. Roberts has anything?
Yeah, you see
I
out
think
there?
she looked about that.
I think she's actually standing up there talking to somebody. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
Somebody is.
We'll give her an opportunity if she has something when she comes back in, but we'll close comments from citizens for now. Economic Development Report by Chamber of Commerce Representative.
Go ahead, James, give it.
Yes.
Is there something in the packet?
Yes, they're in the packet.
Okay. I will say that, went to the awards banquet on Thursday night. It was very well attended, and, congratulate all the awardees. They were most deserving of the awards. Any questions on the economic development report? Evelyn, would you like to make a comment tonight?
Thank you, I'm just visiting.
Okay.
I enjoy seeing the dispatchers and the officers.
All right, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Public hearings, none scheduled, is that still the case?
Still the case, sir.
All right, action agenda, finance.
We have several annual reports required by the city code to be presented by the city clerk or city collector, as the case may be, and those are in your packet. And Heather, do you have any explanations you need to go through?
I don't think so. If anyone has any questions, just let me know.
By the tax report, you're talking about property taxes, personal property and real estate.
Personal property and real estate delinquent taxes as of March 31st, 2013. Now keep in mind that some of these could have been paid in the, between March 31st and now. So this is, as of the end of our fiscal year, these are all the taxes that were still delinquent.
Any questions? Yes.
As much, probably more for me than for the leaders. I'm just curious how somebody can end up being 90 cents or 73 cents or 88 cents in arrears. Is that just, it's just kind of a math error on somebody's part? I mean, not on your part, but on random taxpayer? I just got page 21 right now.
I would have to talk to the county about that, but what I would suggest is probably penalties that are left unpaid.
Okay.
For it to be such a small amount like that. But I can double check on that to find out for sure.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Motion in order to approve the collector's report.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to approve the collector's report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Permits and license, no scheduled, that's still the case?
We have a few more items to go to.
No, we're gonna do them all one at a time. Okay. All right. Report on county tax abatements.
What's that in reference to?
Report on county tax abatements.
All of the taxes that would be abated, so list provided by the county for the 2007 personal property tax that are uncollectible. The total amount for that is $324.68.
And that's our annual write-off
Right.
that we get from the county.
And of that, $238.02 is for general fund, and $106.59 is from Parks and Rec.
Asking for the library.
I did not get a report for a separate,
Okay.
there's usually a separate one for the library, so.
I would make a motion that we accept the abatement report, tax abatement report.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the report on county tax abatements. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Utility bills based debts charged off as of March 31st, 2013.
These are all of the utility bills that have been uncollectible from, I believe, January 1st of last year through December 31st of last year. Uncollectible utility bills.
96.
And this is after several attempts to contact the people that owe these bills, so they'll be written as, charge-offs for this fiscal year, the previous fiscal year.
As usual, I would remind the board that that doesn't mean that if they come back to town or we otherwise are able to identify whether that, we don't go after them or anything bill.
Right.
And they certainly can't establish an account until they pay any arrearages. And we cut quite a bit of money because people want to come back.
Mm-hmm.
I will note that, this amount is about $4,000 less than it was last year. So I think that's probably partially on account of, Phyllis, who does a very good job of sending out several different notices other than just the initial notice of the final bill.
And due diligence in checking when people come back to town.
I move that we accept their report of the charge off.
Second.
And a motion and second to accept the utility bills based debt charge off as of 3/31/13. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Approving budgeted interfund transfers.
Mayor, we budgeted transfer from the water fund to the general fund of $30,000, and we budgeted a transfer from the electric fund to the general fund of $80,000. Can you take the motion in order to authorize doing those transfers?
I would make a motion that we do those, transfers from the water department, electric department, in amounts of $30,000 and $80,000.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the budget interfund transfers. The amount of $30,000 from the water and $80,000 from the electric. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. All right, now, permits and licenses, non-scheduled, is that still the case?
Still the case.
All right, legal. Accepting conveyance of sewer mains and lines in Cobblestone Lake Estate Plat 2 subdivision. This is ordinance requires 2 readings.
There is a blank in section 1 that needs to be filled in. That the date should be April the 4th, 2013, in section 1.
April 4th.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Okay, Alderman Simmons, would you introduce this one, please?
Yes, sir. Bill number, please.
2654.
I move that bill number 2654 be given its first reading by title only.
Sorry, I have a motion and a second that bill number 2654 be given its first reading by title only. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Continue, please.
A bill to create an ordinance entitled, an ordinance accepting the conveyance of sanitary sewer mains and lines from Design Innovations LLC to serve lots in Cobblestone Lake Estates, Plat 2 subdivision. I move that bill number 2654 be given its second reading by title only.
Second.
I have a motion and a second that bill number 2654 be given its second reading by title only. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Continue, please.
A bill to create an ordinance entitled, an ordinance accepting the conveyance of sanitary sewer mains and lines from Design Innovations LLC to serve lots in Cobblestone Lake Estates Plat 2 subdivision. I move that bill number 2654 be adopted by roll call vote.
Second.
I have a motion and a second that bill number 2654 be adopted by a roll call vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call vote, please, Heather.
Alderman Angel,
Yes.
Alderman Borman,
Yes.
Alderman Lee,
Yes.
Alderman Simmons,
Yes.
and Alderman Magley.
Yes.
All right, by your vote, bill number 2654 passes and now becomes ordinance number
2722.
2722. Thank you. All right, next, authorizing July 4th fireworks display at City Recreation Park. This is a resolution, requires one reading. Will these actually be on 4th of July next year?
I believe that the board has directed that until further notice, it always be shot on the 4th of July.
Okay.
In this case, it doesn't specify who's going to do the shooting, but it authorizes that the city conduct in some manner the fireworks show. And because I have to send through paperwork to the state fire marshal and other people, and need this resolution passed now.
Okay.
Independence Day is on Thursday this year.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Alderman Borman, would you introduce this one, please?
Certainly. Bill number, please.
2655.
I move that bill number 2655 be given its first reading by title only.
Second.
I have a motion second that bill number 2655 be given its first reading by title only. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Continue, please.
A bill to create a resolution entitled, "A Resolution Issuing a Permit to the City of Centralia, Missouri to conduct a special fireworks display at the City Recreation Park." I move that bill number 55 be given its second reading by title.
Adopted.
Or be adopted by, oh, that's right, we only have one.
Resolution.
Yes. I move that bill number 2655 be adopted by roll call vote.
Second.
I have a motion second that bill number 2655 be adopted by a roll call vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call vote, please, Heather.
Alderman Magley.
Yes.
Alderman Lee.
Yes.
Alderman Simmons.
Yes.
Alderman Angel.
Yes.
Alderman Borman.
Yes.
All right, by your vote, bill number 2655 passes and now becomes resolution number.
R-13-03.
All right. Purchasing. Three-phase primary metering cabinet.
This was explained in the Public Works and Public Utilities Committee. It's part of several items that we'll need to, in regard to burying the power lines to the east side of Rollins Street, south of Cox to, Chance. All of the school buildings and fields are fed through primary metering. These will have to be replaced with substantially better equipment that is also geared towards underground services. The services into the buildings are already underground, so this won't involve any work for the school on behalf of the city. So the first part of this is the primary meter cabinet, and the apparent low bidder was HD Supply, $12,920.
I move we approve the purchase of the primary meter cabinet from HD Supply in the amount of $12,920.
Second.
I have a motion.
I do have a question now.
Okay.
Jim asked, and I was curious, I assume that includes shipping?
Normally does.
I believe that it normally does, but it doesn't say.
It will, we've never had it not.
Okay. That's what I thought,
Yeah.
but I wanted to make sure.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to accept the bid from HD Supply in the amount of $12,920. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Storm sewer culvert pipe.
Okay, this bid tab took a little bit of a turn since last time. It actually got somewhat cheaper because we substituted some a section of plastic pipe for the concrete pipe, and that's bought separately. So the amount of 15-inch pipe went down.
Okay. Do we only get two bidders on that one?
That's the usual suspects, and these are the two in Boone County that we almost always get bids from.
All right.
I move we approve the purchase from Water and Sewer Supply for the storm sewer pipe for Switzler Street in the amount of $1,346.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the bid from Water and Sewer in the amount of $1,346. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Water treatment plant door replacement.
This was also explained by Mike, a little bit I guess in retrospect confusingly. What we are requesting is 5 Oaks install one door with the frame and all the surrounding masonry work. And then all the materials come from Across Lumber on both that and 2 doors. And all you gotta do is take out the pins and put in the new door, but it's very badly deteriorated along the bottom. So the sum of those is $3,657.62, and we're not going to have to do any frame replacement or anything like that on those other 2 doors, so the optional labor is not included in that price.
Who will be installing those 2 slab doors? Would that be done by the water department?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I move we approve the purchase for the materials and also the labor for the doors at the water plant totaling $3,657.62.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the bid for the doors at the water plant in the amount of $3,657.62. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Now we need a motion on 5 Oaks or not?
It was
Oh,
included.
that was included within
Yeah.
that, okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
All right, flatbed trailer.
We tabled this at the committee meeting. Mike, the next day, contacted Spirit Machinery, and the day after that, Spirit called me and said they were not going to bid on it for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
So we are left with the bids that we started with, that the Herndon Welding for $2,100 plus cost of tires from D&D Tire at $615, and/or a bid from Hughes Brothers for cumulatively $3,195. And then we actually got 2 bids from Maxwell Trailers. We had the original bid for $2,600, and we also had a bid, and that was from Maxwell, Mexico. We also got a bid from Maxwell in Colombia for $2,995. So,
Okay. Well, the Herndon bid with the D&D tires is about $115 more than the Maxwell bid from Mexico. It'd be my recommendation to keep the purchase in town, local. I don't think $115 is, worth going another town for.
By the time you drive back and forth, wear and tear on the vehicles, it's probably more expensive than, anyway. But I would agree, I think we need to keep it in there, local.
I agree.
Okay, motion would be in order.
I'll make a motion that we accept the bid from Herndon. And I assume that, does that include the tires, or is that just for the
no,
trailer?
I would recommend you approve just the bid for $2,100. We will independently buy the
Okay.
tires,
Then I make
which
a
will
motion,
require your action.
I make a motion that we buy the trailer from Herndon Tires for $2,100.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the bid for the flatbed trailer in the amount of $2,100 from Herndon Welding. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Thank you. Electric wire.
In furthering the line burial and the easement east of Rollins Street, we'll need wire for that project and some for stock. You have the quantities on your bid tab, and the low bidder was Arkansas Electric, $16,022.50. These are in town. I recommend you take a look.
I move we accept the bid from Arkansas Electric in the amount of $16,022.50 for wire.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the bid from Arkansas Electric for wire for $16,022.50. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
And we'll need conduit for much of this work, in particular services to the back meter bases of the existing houses. And the low bid for that supply would be Butler Supply, $6,984.41.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the bid from Butler Supply in the amount of $6,984.41 for the conduit. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Water heater replacement at City Hall.
The water heater that serves all of City Hall except the police station is located in the janitor's closet out here off of the stage area of the community room. It's shot cracks.
Oh, okay.
And we got quotes from the two plumbers in town, location in town, and low bid was Harper Mechanical, $1,608.81.
How big is that hot water tank? Or is it 50 gallon or 80 gallon?
I don't have the notes.
Okay.
Large.
Okay. That's,
If it's important, I can go look at.
no, that's fine.
It'll be, the replacement would be the same size as the current one?
Yes.
Okay. That's fine. How many years has the current one been before it shot cracks?
8, I believe. It's not the original one we remodeled City Hall. It has been replaced once before.
Okay. I think usually the warranty on those is about 7 or 8 years, isn't it?
It's no longer under warranty.
No?
No,
Okay.
I don't think they're that long.
I think they're only like
Maybe
3
it might
years.
only be 5 years. That's
I
fine.
think it's more like 3, but
3 year warranty, I think.
It's-
8 to
okay.
10 years is typical usage here in town with the hard water. so.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So, motion would be in order.
I'll make
So
a
moved.
motion that we accept Harper's bid of $1,608.81.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second that we accept Harper Mechanical's bid for the replacement of the hot water heater. The amount of $1,608.81. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Whew. Old business? Any old business? All right, hearing none. New business? Got a couple of appointments tonight. For the Mid-Missouri Regional Planning Commission, I've been serving in that capacity, and I'd like to reappoint myself to that position. There's no opposition?
For 2 years now.
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. I have a motion and a second to appoint the mayor as Mid-Missouri Regional Planning Commission representative. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. John.
He's not being very down tonight. Okay. And also at the same time, I've been serving as the Mid-Missouri Solid Waste Management District Council person for the city. And I'd like to reappoint myself to that position. If there's anybody that opposes that.
It's also for 2 years.
It's also for 2 years.
If it lasts that long.
If it lasts that long,
Move.
Second.
okay. I have a motion and a second to accept the mayor's appointment of himself to the Mid-Missouri Solid Waste Management District. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. And by what Lynn says, if it lasts that long, there has been some movement at the House in Jeff City to nullify or dissolve the solid waste management districts across the state and give that responsibility to natural resources. Okay? Which would, in my opinion, increase the burden on the Department of Natural Resources to where we would not get the same level of service that we receive with solid waste management districts.
It's not that it's that difficult, it's the bureaucracy of what they do.
Right. Right. They manage all the grants for household hazard waste pickups, different recycled tire material for playgrounds and that kind of stuff. And in my opinion, I don't think that the Department of Natural Resources would be as efficient as the solid waste management district. Okay. This year, there's several people that are going to be, their terms are going to be up. Cemetery board, tree board, park board, those don't expire until later on in the year. So I'll take some time and talk to those committees and make those appointments at that time. In an effort to fill the vacancy on the Planning and Zoning Commission, vacancy left by Alderman Sanders, with Jim Lee's previous experience on the Planning and Zoning Commission, I've asked him to step up and be part of that committee.
I would make that motion to accept the mayor's nomination.
All right, I have a motion and a second to accept the mayor's appointment of Jim Lee to Planning and Zoning Commission. So, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. And that's all I have tonight. Alderman, have anything? Anything else? Okay. Lynn, it's your turn.
Unfortunately, I have several.
Okay.
The reason
Pick
you
your
see.
two favorite ones.
No, why then I know. The reason that I have a recessed meeting down at the bottom is that we have received contract proposal for the slip line. It is a co-op bid with the City of Independence, and we had budgeted $99,000 and had targeted the areas that are highlighted. Well, I guess those are all copies, perhaps we can
Steal that one.
steal that one and share it over here.
Matter of fact, you can steal this one too if you need to.
All right, thank you. I thought there might have been multiple copies.
Are these the ones that they measured up recently?
Those are the ones that were measured up.
Okay.
Sim Street, so between Rollins and Allen, in the post office south, and then between Collier and Bradford, and between Bradford and Jefferson. No, excuse me, Jenkins and Bradford. We got a good price. They measured it up, and their proposal would be for $87,049.50 for the actual work. And because this is a construction project of more than $25,000, state statute requires that we have a performance bond or a payment bond to pay vendors, even though they're principal suppliers themselves. That's going to cost us an additional, I think it's $800. I can find it here. All right. This is a different copy from the one I had, and I had it underlined. it's $800. So that will be considerably under the 99,000 that we had budgeted. There is some language that says that if they encounter any taps that project out and they have to cut through, that will be in addition. At this moment, we're not aware of any, but there might be one or two which would add to this, but it's at a fixed unit price. So again, we'll be well under what was budgeted, but there's no other lines that have been measured that would lend themselves to trying to shoehorn in. So that money will just be carried over to a different, future fiscal year. This is a contract, so it takes an ordinance, and I did not get this until late Friday, so I was unable to prepare an ordinance, which is why I would request you recess and have a recess meeting before the Public Works and Public Utilities Committee meeting on the 6th of May. If there's no problem, I mean, you're gonna be here for that meeting anyway, and there'll be an ordinance. And Michael will also be able to explain if you have any additional questions on it.
All right.
Okay. Alderman Borman was in contact with a surveyor who now is with Engineering Surveys and Services, or is he on his own? Mr. Luke?
Oh, no, he was with Marshall.
Well, right now, but he's with somebody else now.
He works for himself now.
Okay. He ended up with the files of Bill Marshall and Marshall Engineering that related to the city of Centralia. And he passed them along to Alderman Borman, who brought them to me, and I'm in the process of going through them. I'm not sure that we need much of the files as far as our records. There are a couple of signed, executed contracts. There's lots and lots of background work that, because these are, for instance, on street projects that are 14, 15 years old, I'm not going to need to keep. Just the only thing that would be proper would be financial document that we already have, plus the contracts. If I don't have a fully executed copy, we can microfilm them. The important thing that we're likely to need didn't come in the boxes. We budgeted for renewal of the supervised water construction plan designation through DNR. That will take some engineering. Marshall did that the last 3 times for us and has software that indicated pipe size, pressure, and flow information for all of the fire hydrants in the system 5 years ago. Actually going on 6 now. We think that can be adopted by whoever we select as an engineer to do the new application. And if that's correct, it will save some money for the new engineer, and we'll be able to import that data into probably an updated version of the software that does those sorts of calculations. Because we've had quite a bit of growth in Southwest Country Estates, Cobblestone Estates, Mr. Bridge, Remington. We're going to make a determination of what we need to keep and what value might be paid. It would be appropriate to reimburse Mr. Luke for him keeping it and supplying those records to us, but right now I haven't the foggiest notion how much and what we would keep as yet. And it will, more than anything else, depend on the transferability of the water pressure data. That would have some value, particularly in saving us money on the other end. But that's going to come up at some point, and we will confer with Mr. Borman to try and get an idea of value after we've gone through and said this is of value to us and this is not. Because I suspect that what we say is not of value to us is going to go in a dumpster. We already threw away one thing. It was a tape of a sewer line. And I think it was part of a set of tapes done for the city 32, 33 years ago. It was on what it looked like the old VCR tape, except it was a format called helical something or other.
Wow.
And I had been,
Just a reel about like that.
Real type.
it's a format that is obsolete in space. We had a whole box of those things done back when we were doing the engineering for upgrading sewer lines.
Mhm.
And I went to engineers, I went to online vendors, there are services that transcribe one format to another. Nobody has it anymore. We pitched those, and I pitched the one that came up in the new box because there's just no way to retrieve that data, even if it was valuable 30 years after the fact, and it's not. Our new taping will be much more usable. So, that being said, I have received finally a proposal, counter proposal from the union. And as you recall, there were a couple of things we agreed to that were language things that really didn't have financial consequence to the city, and all agreed to accept those. And we have not budgeted for any raises or cost of living increases or that thing, sort of thing. We did assure them that we would do a study parallel to the last wage and hour survey that we did. And their counter proposal, which I would hope you wouldn't dwell on, but it's not a big secret, they would like us to sign contracts to guarantee that we will use those as a basis of formulating CPI increases and wage and hour adjustments to the pay matrix next year. Now, ordinarily, that might make a certain amount of sense, but I've been paying attention to the media who say that health insurance rates are going to go up dramatically next year, and however much they go up will have a bearing on what our total labor costs are and what we can pay. And if we lock ourselves into adjustments in the pay scale, that might or might not be commensurate decreases in the amount of health insurance we pay. I would recommend against making such guarantees. I've heard, well, it's probably scare tactics, but it's been reported that private group plans might go up by double. The lowest estimate I've heard is 58%. You look at that for our kind of, I mean, it might be just boogeyman, but I won't know until end of October.
Right.
So I cannot recommend that we guarantee that we'll lock in anything in the way of wages for next year. And
I'm not in the mood for guaranteeing something that, you know, we don't know what the future holds.
Right. So that's how I'm gonna spell out my response to them, and we'll see where it goes to there.
We'll definitely look at it, take it into consideration, but to actually guarantee something, I'm not comfortable doing that.
With regard to fireworks, we've done business for going on 20 years or more with J&M Supply. They supply training for our firefighters who do the actual firing. We've bought packages in the past. They don't exactly have a catalog anymore. They prepared a package for us that is just about the equivalent of what we paid last year. It has 2 less shells during the main part and 2 less shells in the finale, which I don't think would be noticeable. Otherwise, it's actually 50 cents cheaper than last year, counting insurance. That being said, I also was contacted by another firm that also provides fireworks, and so I didn't put it on the agenda for tonight to approve. Although quick action is usually necessary to get to the state fire marshal, it's also included in this package and in the package of the other proposal that the early payment and sign the contract early will get you a percentage extra in fireworks. And so I had to look and compare what their catalog prices were compared to J&M. And frankly, their prices are a little bit more expensive in some cases and a little bit less expensive in other cases. I have no way of measuring quality, and I have no way of measuring what they would have in the way of package price as opposed to ordering off, 10 of this and 5 of that and stuff like that. I may at some point try to get a complete copy of the invoice from J&M and see what the price might be for next year. They do the display for the Lions Club over in Mexico, but they don't have a lot of although they have 3 outlets in Missouri, they only have 2 Missouri displays on their proposal. So I would suggest we stay with J&M, and the amount that was budgeted for would be the same as last year. And that will take council approval. And rather than ask you to do it tonight, I would put the supporting materials in and ask you to do it as part of the recess meeting. The 10 times passing on the slip line. And I'm talking $3,775 for everything, and they bring it to us.
Generally, the earlier the better, because they give a discount if you order it ahead of time.
That's right. To be able to take, in this case, an extra 8% in fireworks, they don't give you cash off. They quote you a package price, and then they say they'll throw in an extra number of shells. In this case, it would be 8%.
Do we have anybody that wants a special shell this time? Just asking.
They don't have a catalog for me to go through.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, does the other vendor offer anything in the way of insurance like what we're doing this one?
The other vendor does offer insurance, does offer a discount. It's a stage discount. We're already too late for that. And the extra fireworks would be 5%, and I don't know what kind of pricing would be for a package that's comparable. I would have to do research on the quality fireworks, which is very important. How many duds and what they look like, and then try it, because they have different suppliers. Try to get a comparison of shell to shell. That's almost impossible.
If the prices are that close, I'd just as soon stay with the chain.
Well, that would be my inclination. I was just curious if the other even offers the insurance.
They do.
I think it's mandated that they have to.
No.
But
They have it for if you hire them to do the display, that it costs extra. We traditionally use the fire department to do the display. And they put X amount to piggyback on their liability insurance package, which is usually $1 million. You could buy from a local vendor the same insurance, but it would cost a lot more. And I'll ask for approval of that at the next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's all I have. That was enough.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Merritt? You don't have that much, do you?
Not too, as much.
Okay.
Mr. Behrens reminded me that you had suggested that we update our city code more frequently, semi-annually. Since the code was last updated in November, we have adopted one ordinance that amends the code. We have adopted ordinances such as the one tonight dealing with the, I mean, for example, the one dealing with the accepting sewer, accepting the mains and things like that, but that's not the type of ordinance that is in the code, so. My recommendation would be we would just hold off for the time being, since there's only one ordinance that amends the code, and save the money for a little bit later.
In light of the lack of ordinances, that would be a plan.
Now, we'll update the first page to show the new council.
I did ask about that at another time, and they won't do that for free. They will charge for that as a separate thing, about $100 as I remember. It seemed like that was somewhat steep for one page.
Yeah, that's kind of, I'll talk to them.
Well, I certainly think that maybe if they're willing to do it once a year, that it would be appropriate to do it in April, after we have the elections of the new board in the city. But, you know, of course, it depends upon how many other ordinances we've had in the meantime too.
The reason we're been on a fall cycle is generally because all the mandated changes in state statute, which
Come in
over
after
in some
August.
cases to our codes,
Yeah.
all come at the end of August.
Right.
And by the time we pass